Online abuse, people losing money through being scammed, young people targeted with content that promotes self-harm or abuse. We need a crackdown.
Well, it's certainly the case that material is online which is unpleasant, some is illegal, and some of that should be removed. The question is how you get to a point where that is being removed in a way that doesn't then restrict the things that we do every day and all the time. And I think the problem with the approach to this bill is that it's really pushing companies to remove things in an automated fashion. And you know full well from your spam folder, for instance, the things that end up in your spam are not always junk. They're often things you actually needed to read, and 3 weeks later you realise they disappear down a plug hole. And that, of course, is what will happen online if we kind of push the platforms to remove more and more material on kind of general and vague grounds. So the worry here is that you have things like somebody the other day pointing out they're trying to sell tickets for the performance of Cats and on Facebook, and they just kept getting the things removed because Facebook won't allow you to sell Cats. I mean, that's the problem in a nutshell, right? These machines don't do this very well, and that's cheap. It's cheap for machines to do that, and that's what we'll end up seeing with platforms doing, just having essentially machines deciding what's right and wrong on the internet and having done with it. So, this isn't a great approach. What I do think is good, and what the committee have said, though, is that they are particularly trying to stop the ministers from having a say of what does and doesn't go into this regime of stuff being removed. That was a really dangerous power. The idea that Priti Patel and Nadine Dorries should decide what's right and wrong on the internet, and that just simply gets they direct Ofcom and say, right, this stuff's bad, we say it's bad, that's that, now you go and make sure the companies remove it. I mean, that's just really appalling, and I hope that the government listen on that in particular. The other bit that I think we're all worried about is the whole scanning of images, scanning of your messages online, right? So the idea is that your messaging products, things like WhatsApp, but also Facebook Messenger and so on, that these be given duties to scan and read everything you do in order to remove things which are harmful. And I think that's just extraordinary. Imagine that the Royal Mail were reading your letters. I mean, you'd have none of it. But here, apparently, it's okay. And what makes it worse is that in order to read those messages, they have to remove all the security features, the encryption, and that's what's keeping your messages safe from scammers, from blackmailers, from people trying to get hold of your passwords, get hold of your credit card details if you've been silly enough to post them on WhatsApp. That's the kind of thing that we're going to see. It kind of makes a ridiculousness of the idea this is a safety bill. This is going to make people unsafe. I mean, how is that a safety bill?